Hi, I'm going to have to voice over this because it was a bit windy. I found this brick. You could see that it's been rounded up by the salt water. So I laid it down there and I'm going to keep it. I brought it with me. Then I found another little gem right here. Oh boy, people, aren't they something? I put it in the trash can. It wasn't that far. Oh my. Yeah, I'm sorry I have to voice over this because it was just awful windy. And I don't have an external speaker for my DJI camera. And so anyway, this is the East Point Lighthouse. This lighthouse was built in 1849, and it was ran by an organization, and they allowed tours on the property, and I think there was even a Airbnb either in a portion of it or I believe there was, and but that organization no longer exists, so it sits empty. It was originally lit in 1849. I'll be zooming in on that little plaque there, but I'll kind of tell you what it says. It says about the history of it. It's in Heislerville, and it was first lit in 1849. And it was used in the Delaware Bay for the vessels in the Delaware Bay. And it's the last remaining lighthouse that is in the Delaware Bay. I don't know if it's still a working lighthouse. If so, it would be manned and operated mechanically, automatically by way of modern technology. No one has to be on site, and it would be by the United States Coast Guard. Now this is a little access to the bay. You're going to see big sandbags. They were pumped full of wet sand and expanded to the size that they are. And they protect the shoreline from beach erosion and protects and as a result protects the buildings, whatever may be inland there. That's the Delaware Bay. It's a very big oyster industry still to this day since the 1600s. The Delaware Bay's been a fishing industry for small scale fishermen for a long time. My wife's grandfather was a commercial fisherman, and all his children were. And many people have fished and crabbed in that Delaware Bay. There's some Canadian geese there to the left, and they're taking their journey. It's nice to see them headed north, because we certainly had a wicked winter, that's for sure. Now we're going around the back. You can obviously see that. The structure is sound and in well-maintained condition. I just certainly hope that it gets in the hands of somebody that can return it to the tourist attraction that it's been. A little picnic area here. And this, I'm not certain, but from my history of lighthouses, I think this would have been the oil house. This little red brick building, not this one, but the one behind me. As we turn around, you'll see it. It's a little red brick building. And that, I think, would have been the oil house. And what that would be is where the oil would be stored to light the lighthouse. This one here. This is where the oil would have been stored in this building when that was manned by people, and that oil would light the lamp up on top of that lighthouse, and that's the oil house, I'm certain. And now this was later built probably for the groundskeeper of the lighthouse. Probably not the maintenance to the light, because this is more of a modern fixture. So this probably came later. And sadly, here's all kinds of signs that were out and about and all around that tells you the whole history, and this photographs of that in that waterway I just showed you with the sea traffic, and it's sad they're just stacked up there in a shed, getting weathered and not enjoyed by people. Such a shame. Prayers one day that it returns to being a place that people can enjoy. Yeah, I'm certain this house came later in years as a grounds maintenance house for a employee to stay and maintain. Okay, now we're gonna take a little ride off out of this area to the parking area just around the opposite side of this. I got my brick. I'll find a spot for that for sure. That's a neat old thing. You can tell it's been aged. Okay, now I relocate it. We're just around the corner from the lighthouse. This is looking out at the Delaware Bay from this little point at Heislerville. You'll see the lighthouse. It'll be in the distance. Right there it is. And this was a big fishing industry for local fishermen. And these local fishermen were generations of family that fished in the Delaware Bay for gill netting for fish and for oysters. They had oyster beds. And as a result, these little towns came along the Delaware Bay, got developed, and they lived there for families after families, generations. It's a nice little area, nooked in the bay sides of Cape May County. And you pass by when you're on Route 47.